It's the most wonderful time of the
day. Sunrise. Beautiful time of the day. Hi everyone, so I've headed out locally again today to photograph sunrise this morning. Just another place that, you know, I lived in Carlisle for the vast majority of my life, and another place that I kind of knew existed but never really looked at before. And you know, now I'm starting to explore more of my area, and I found this beautiful location. So I'm at Lazenby. Just a little town outside of Carlisle where I live, and I'm by the side of the River Eden, and there's I believe it's a grade listed bridge, really beautiful bridge. I have to be honest, I'm not expecting a good sunrise at all this morning because there isn't a single cloud in the sky. However, that being said, there is a bit of mist by the river this morning, which, to be honest, is already starting to burn up a little bit. So I'm going to set up my camera really quickly, take some photos before the sun rises and burns off all this mist, and then when there's a bit more light, I'll come back and explain in more detail what I'm doing. If anything, there was actually too much mist. It was just completely covering the whole scene to the point where I could barely even see the bridge. But now that the sun has risen, it is beginning to burn the mist off now though. Saying that, the sun has still got to get over that hill yet, but even so, it has burnt off that mist pretty quickly now. Like I say, because there isn't any cloud in the sky, it's not a great sunrise. The sky is just pretty boring really, without any clouds to really light up with the colour from the sun. So that's a shame, but still a really beautiful morning and a really beautiful location. And you know, I'm so pleased I got out again because I looked at the forecast and saw that there wasn't going to be any clouds, so I knew the sunrise wouldn't be great. So I kind of thought, I was tempted just to stay at home, stay in bed and not bother coming out, but I'm so pleased I came out. Even without the clouds in the sky, it's still a really beautiful scene, and still getting some really nice photos. Yeah, I could have gotten some better photos if there was clouds in the sky, but still some very, very nice photos, and it's still much better. And it's a new location that I've not been to. So this is the first time I've been here, the first time I've photographed it, and it's only a half-hour drive from my flat. So now that I've been here, know where it is and everything, I can just come here whenever I want, and I know exactly where to put my camera and what to expect and all that kind of thing. Now, as I've been doing recently, I'm trying to seek out and make the most of photography locations basically on my doorstep. And the more I'm looking for them, the more I'm finding, and it's amazing what I'm finding. I'm fortunate where I live, in that I've got a lot of hills nearby. The Lake District is very close, but even closer than that, there's a wide range of hills around. We've got rivers, I've got the coast nearby, woodlands, there's so many things. And this location here, just outside the town of Lazenby. Now I always knew there was a place called Lazenby down the road from me, but I didn't know it looked like this. I didn't know it was this beautiful, and this is why I really want to encourage people to make the most of where they live and not take it for granted, because I've honestly been amazed at the places that I've found since I've really started looking for places on my doorstep. And there's many advantages to photographing locally where you are. The main one being, one of the big ones I think, is just standing out as a photographer. I mean, you look at Instagram for example, and you see the same places, everyone wanting to photograph not just the same locations but the same compositions and everything. Everyone's taking exactly the same photos now because they see a photo does well on Instagram, gets a lot of likes, so then people, desperate for likes, try to take exactly the same photo, and it's all the same places, just the same thing over and over and over again. So I think the best way to stand out as a photographer is just to photograph where you live and the places nearby. So I mean, just taking this location where I am today for example, Eden Bridge on the River Eden in Lazenby in Cumbria. Not a location that a lot of people know or have seen photos of before. So if I can get a good photo here, it's a beautiful location, so if I can get a good photo here, it's going to stand out because not a lot of people have seen it. And people might see the photo and go, wow, that's a really beautiful location, where is that? Rather than just scrolling through and saying the same thing again. This really is looking really beautiful now. So I think, rather than wishing you can go to Iceland or Santorini or wherever else, rather than desperately trying to copy the same photos, get out and take advantage of where you live and what's unique to where you live. Another good reason for photographing where you live is you don't need to spend a lot of money. You know, another thing, people look at Instagram or things like that and see these amazing photos from all over the world, faraway places, and wish that they could travel, wish they could go to these incredible places around the world. But you know, who can afford to do that all the time? It's difficult. But just taking advantage of locations like this, wherever's close to you, you know, it doesn't cost anything. It might cost you a little bit of fuel in the car or something like that, but you don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of pounds on flights and accommodation. And on top of that, you can get out whenever you want, whenever you've got a day off work or an afternoon off work. You can just quickly go out and you can take advantage of the weather when the weather's really good and when you've got the conditions that you really want, that you know are going to make a good photo. Say you book a week to the Faroe Islands, for example. The Faroe Islands are very popular at the moment. Always seeing photos of the Faroe Islands at the moment. Now let's see you book a week's holiday there to get some good photos. It might be overcast the whole time you're there. It might just pour down with rain the entire time you're there, and you might not get the photos that you want. That would be unfortunate, but it's a very real possibility. Good thing about photographing local is anytime you see all the conditions are looking perfect for beautiful sunrise or for mist on the water or whatever it is. If you see the perfect conditions, you can just quickly grab your camera, get in your car, drive to the location and take advantage of those ideal conditions when they arrive.